Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Elizabeth Gabster. I'm our Director of Strategy and Value Advisory here at Optimizely, and I'm excited to be joined here today with James.
Hi, everyone. I'm James Stout, Director of Solutions Architecture at Optimizely, focusing on experimentation.
So we're here today to answer some questions from Google Optimize customers and share a bit more about our close relationship with Google. We've formed a strategic partnership with Google a few years ago now. And we're really excited to really help share some of these learnings and some of the benefits that we can provide by working together. As a bit of a high-level introduction of who Optimizely is, we are not actually part of Google. We're a separate company. We're about 1,500 employees globally, and we service 10,000 different brands. We have a range of different products. Experimentation is one of our key products, and we do run 1.8 million experiments on our platform. This is really a category we created, but we also work across the space of digital experiences. And so we're here to kind of help service all of your needs. We work across all industries. Some of our key industries are listed here below, and with companies of all sizes. Yes, with enterprises, strategic logos, but also with startups, with smaller companies that are really looking to grow their digital experience. We have many rankings across the analyst reports, but ultimately our goal is always to continue to grow and to continue to improve across all of our products. For today, we're going to really focus on our client-side experimentation product. This is really the equivalent of Google Optimize and how it might fit the needs of customers like yourselves that may be looking for other options in the market. Optimizely as a company really has created this category of A/B testing using a third party. We first launched our digital testing platform in 2010 using a web visual editor, and really continued to evolve across the years. Brought in sequential stats in 2013. Crucially, native app testing started in 2014, and we've really continued to build out our capabilities for being able to test and optimize in the apps. But we've learned very quickly that testing is more than just running two different versions of a site, but there's really a whole level of building a test and learn culture and governance and collaborations needed there. So we've built out a lot of these technical capabilities, as you've seen, including single page apps, feature development, accelerated mobile pages, performance edge for the fastest delivery you can get on using a JavaScript snippet, and lots more to come. We're really continuing to innovate. We don't want to rest on our laurels of being, one of the leading platforms on the market, but we want to keep innovating, keep learning, keep hearing from our customers and building upon this. Optimizing can really help you across your ecosystem. We're very proud to say you can use our products to test across your digital experience. So any type of digital product you have, you can actually use Optimizely to provide improvements there. For today, we'll focus on web and the websites, but do ask us about this and we can really help customize what's the needs that you have at your company. Do you need to experiment on other types of devices, and what other needs might exist there? A couple callouts I'd also highlight coming from Google Optimize. We do use a stats engine. Our customers that have migrated in the past from Google Optimize tell us it's much easier to use, much easier to understand. You need much less, if any, data science time needed. You really are able to interpret this without having a higher degree in math. And so this helps with testing velocity hugely. And it also helps you really have that confidence in the accuracy of your results. Additionally, we're set up to help you scale across your company. You probably are going to start with maybe a core team within marketing, looking at the website, your landing pages, maybe your checkout pages, but you may start to learn that there's a lot you can improve upon across the whole business. And we're really here to help you guide through that process. Finally, we're looking at integrating with your key systems. So we have tons of different APIs and integrations, so you can really plug it all together and really accelerate through best practices. A key difference from Optimizely and many other vendors in CRO and experimentation is we're really focused on helping you grow and providing some best practices there. We will not do this for you, but rather teach you what those learnings may be so your company continue to kind of build out that learnings and build out those capabilities yourself. So we want to give you that access to the expertise we've built from doing this with thousands of different customers. Couple additional things to call out here. So first of all, and we mentioned Performance Edge. This really helps with the speed of the delivery of your experiments and really reduces the load on your website when kind of building that out. James, did you want to add more on our Performance Edge?
Yeah, Performance Edge is really unique in the marketplace because it does take a lot of the load that a traditional JavaScript implementation would normally operate in the browser and moves that to the CDN. So we're actually able to make decisions on what variation a visitor should see before we even deploy JavaScript to the browser, which speeds everything up very dramatically. And we have a median load time for that specific solution of about 50 milliseconds, which is far faster than the blink of an eye. So when you're talking about wanting a flicker-free experience or the ability to experiment on, say, high-performing landing pages, high-value experiences, and testing above the fold as well, it is really a solution that helps you to proceed with that with confidence.
So we're really here to help you scale again across all your products, your single page apps and others. And also I'd call out, we are hosted on the Google Cloud Marketplace as well. So if you use GCP, Optimizely can actually be used to burn down, to kind of credit toward your burn down and your obligation with GCP as well. With that, I'm going to hand it over to James, who's going to walk us through what the product looks like.
Thank you, Liz. So we're going to walk through a little bit of a high-level demo of Optimizely's web experimentation today. And we're going to be focusing on this Mosey fashion site. Mosey is a fictitious brand that we use for some of our demonstrations. We're going to be walking through how to configure an experiment in Optimizely web experimentation. And this can be as simple as deploying just a single line of JavaScript through your tag manager. We have solutions for and advice for how you should deploy that, but it really can be as simple as a single line of JavaScript through your tag manager like Google Tag Manager. So we are friendly to those types of implementations. And we really want to help you use this platform to take your experimentation program to the next level. So we're going to focus on Mosey Fashion as the basis for configuring a test. And we're going to play through a scenario in which we want to target audiences who are coming in through an AdWords campaign. So coming into the homepage from a campaign, what do we want them to see? What do we want them to experience? Or what experiment do we want to run for that specific audience? When you're implementing changes to the experience, everything is going to start with the Optimizely visual editor. Similar to Google Optimize will load up your existing website experience and give you the tools to make changes on the fly in a robust visual editor where it really is what you see is what you get. Now, for this campaign, we want to make the homepage a little bit more targeted. And so we're going to pop into one of our variations where we're focusing on driving more traffic toward the women's jackets category on the homepage. So we're swapping out the image, changing the text, changing the call to action on the hero as well in order to drive more traffic to that specific landing page, hopefully driving more views on product detail pages, more add to carts, more conversions, so on. Right. To give you a quick idea for how simple this can be, we can take any element on the page, select that, and then easily swap the text out with just a simple copy and paste. But there are many other functions that we can walk through, when we get to a full demo as well, such as changing the typography, the background, applying border, and much, much more, really. So I'm going to save that change. We're going to create that as a part of variation. So this brand is really trying to promote the messaging around sustainability, right? Around being eco-friendly. So we're going to change the copy to reflect that in order to drive more conversions and a more resonating experience for people coming in from that pay-per-click campaign. Now, for this campaign, we specifically want to target the visitors who are coming in from that Google AdWords pay-per-click campaign. And the way that we're going to do that is by building out an audience in Optimizely's robust audience tool. To show you really quickly what that looks like and how it functions, we're going to go into creating a new audience and look at our standard set of criteria. Now, we have more that are available here. Again, we can do additional calls where we go into more depth on each individual feature. But to create this audience, I'm going to pull in an ad campaign. And I would say if somebody comes in from my spring fashion campaign, I want to target them as part of this experiment, right? This is the audience that I want to include. And so from here, you would give it a name and description, and then select that audience as part of the experiment, right? So ad-based targeting like this, where you're specifically including audiences that are coming from your pay-per-click campaigns, really allows you to connect your conversion rate optimization in Optimizely and your cost per acquisition, doing more with that ad campaign. It allows you to target your landing pages and align the messaging to the ad campaign in order to increase that conversion rate and lower the total cost per acquisition at the same time with a single experiment.
And I think it's amazing, James, how much you can do without having a developer needed there, with really, enabling the marketing team to be able to scale here and really have that personalization at your fingertips.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does lend well to personalization too. But you can also say you want to target a specific promotion to that audience, right? Just different ways of using this platform that just lend itself to a lot of creativity and flexibility. And to your point, it is really geared to be friendly to a non-technical user, a non-developer audience. Even though the platform is robust enough to include developers, it is not targeting the developers as a platform specifically. Now, with any experiment, we want to make sure that we are tracking appropriate metrics as well. Something that you'll find different if you are moving from Google Optimize to Optimizely is that the events don't have to be triggered via Google Tag Manager. They don't have to be set up with alignment in Google Analytics. We will integrate with Google Analytics. We are a partner of Google's, and we do work with those platforms, but you're not locked into the Google ecosystem for all of your data and all of your reporting. So a couple of things worth noting here is that you can set up as many metrics as you like without introducing risk into the experiment. You can actually track everything in the customer journey all the way up to and including what is the impact on overall revenue for the organization, right? And track all of that as part of metrics inside of a single experiment. So you can have your metrics at the very top. These are the ones that you want to impact directly with this test, and then follow all the way down through to what are our end goals? What are our North Star metrics that we want to make sure that we're not negatively impacting and that we hopefully are having a positive impact on with each experiment? Something else that I'll note here is that we can ingest external events. And this is particularly of interest to customers that collect revenue via subscriptions. As a quick example, subscriptions and renewals don't happen on the website, right? They're not always, going and clicking a button to do that. Sometimes that's just automated. Think about your subscription to like online streaming services and things like that. It's just automatic billing every month, but they need to recognize that revenue inside of their order management system or ERP or whatever backend system. We can take those events as well. You can push those revenue recognition events from your offline systems into Optimizely, so we can track throughout the entire customer lifecycle, the entire customer journey, and the overall impact for the long term on your business.
And as a best practice, we do recommend having multiple metrics that you're tracking. Again, you just have one as the primary metric in blue there, but these additional metrics really give you context on what else is happening across the site. These are also key for getting new ideas or potentially focusing on additional audiences in the future, and ultimately on actually being able to show the impact your program is having. That's part of why we've made it so intentionally so easy to really add multiple metrics. I think there's a huge number you could actually put in with Optimizely to be able to get those insights and build on experiments going forward.
Yeah, it's practically at a practical level, we would say it's more or less limitless on how many metrics you can put in. But that also brings us into how we do traffic allocation. When you have, especially when you have multiple variations, you want to make sure that you are not just putting something out there and having to wait forever. So we actually can apply machine learning to the traffic distribution. So instead of just taking those variations and dividing the traffic across each of those variations evenly, which is the default, right? And we do set it up there that way when you create as you create those variations, we automatically say we're going to split those evenly. That's a good starting point. If you apply machine learning to that, what you can actually do is create a new learning opportunity that is 2 to 3 times faster than without the machine learning. And what I mean by that is that we can change the traffic distribution dynamically and put more traffic into whichever variation is trending toward an answer, right? To help you win fast or fail fast through experimentation, because even failed experiments are a learning opportunity. We want to help you do that as quickly as possible to really increase the velocity of your experimentation program, so that an experiment on your homepage might take far less time to come to a conclusion, or even on pages where you have a lower amount of traffic, being able to draw conclusions from experiments on those pages in a more timely fashion by taking advantage of the traffic that is there with dynamic machine learning driven distribution.
And this is one of the key things we hear from our customers who previously had Google Optimize, that it's fractionally less time to hit statistical significance than they needed with Google Optimize. We had customers who were waiting 8 to 12 weeks to hit stat sig. With our stats engine and especially stats accelerator, it's much, much less. So again, we'll work with you to determine what that might look like for your particular company.
Yeah, if an experiment might take 8 weeks for you to draw conclusions, if you're able to draw a conclusion from that experiment in 4 weeks instead, well, now suddenly you can do twice as many tests, right, than you could before. And that has a very meaningful impact on your business. Velocity matters when it comes to experimentation. Now, once we have all of this configured, it's also very important to know that we do integrate very neatly, very quickly with your Google Analytics and other parts of the Google ecosystem. So you'll be able to do a one-click integration effectively to enable Google Universal Analytics integration if you're still on Universal Analytics, or if you're migrating to GA4. We do have a solution there where you can just do a quick integration to GA4. Now, what you'll notice here is that with Universal Analytics, you are tied to the dimensions, but everything in GA4 is events-driven through a function called GTag. We don't require any additional configuration for that. You're not limited with GA4 to the number of experiments that you're running concurrently being aligned to the number of custom dimensions that are available to you in your Google Analytics system. So what you can do with GA4 that you would maybe not want to do with Google Universal Analytics, just because of that dimension limitation, is just default all of your experiments and all of your campaigns to be tracked, so that you can align your data, your reporting, your dashboards in Google Analytics with the experiments that you're running and the variations that your customers are seeing on the site. And what does the end result of this configuration look like of this experiment? We go to looking at one of our preview links. So you can actually generate links that provide no authentication required previews of the end result of the experiment. So what is the actual applied change here? This is a shareable link, so you can actually send that to your chief marketing officer, your CEO, other people in the organization, even pull it up on your mobile device without launching the test for all of your public audience. You can generate that preview link for all of your internal QA and approvals. Make sure, hey, look, this is the URL. This is what we're thinking about pushing out as an experience for our pay-per-click audience. Does this look good to you? Right? Getting all of that feedback. It's just another path that we give in the way that you can do quality assurance, the way that you can apply governance to how you're running experiments and how you're rolling those out, which a lot of our customers find to be very, very useful. And once that experience is rolled out, obviously we want to know what are the results, what impact are we having on our business, and so we do provide you with results and dashboarding that is available just through Optimizely. So we're not dependent on Google Analytics or any other analytics tool. This is a proprietary statistical platform that Optimizely provides to its customers in order to provide very clear reporting around what is going on inside of your experiment. You can look at the data in real time. You can look at it early and look at it often without introducing any risk of bias into the experiment. And we try to use very clear markers in the reporting. So you know that green means you've got a successful outcome and that you have statistical significance, that you have an answer for that variation. Or if it's red instead of green, you know that it was you have an answer, but it was a negative answer at that point, right? Which is still valuable from a learning perspective, because now you know not to put that variation out there that maybe you would have rolled out to everybody if you weren't running an experiment, right? And you can dive into specific variations. You can see trend lines in how we're tracking statistical significance over time. You can see the impact for the sample to the conversion rate, the overall improvement based on the control. And then finally, once you roll this experience out to your entire audience, what is your real world impact going to look like? What guarantees in terms of ROI are you going to be able to articulate to the rest of the business and say, at minimum, we're at least going to see a 7% improvement on our add to carts, or we're possibly up to a 60% improvement to our add to carts. So not only getting some type of calculation for how much better this might be, but getting that lower and upper bound for ROI to say this is the real world expectation that we think we're going to be able to drive for the business.
And I think just emphasizing there as we're kind of transitioning out, as you see, this program can be set up, this platform can be set up really to work with marketing teams that might only be one or two people that are running this. You've got a limited developer time, limited time with your business intelligence team, but we also can partner with teams that are more robust. If you have data teams that want to really dive into the algorithms behind our stats model, 100%, we can set you up with our stats team and have those conversations as well. So really, we're here to be adaptable and give you that support, but also like really be able to fit to your needs.
Yeah, up to and including things like getting real-time access to the data through BigQuery, things like that. If you're a heavier user of the Google Cloud platform and you want to have more access to the data, you want to take the experiment data and start mashing it up with other data that is inside of your organization. Looking at, these are the experiences and these are variations, and internally aligning that with specific customers or customer segments in order to gain more insights for how next to take your experiment or personalization journey. And so that also applies to basically everywhere else, right? So what we just saw here is just the upper left quadrant of what you see on the slide in front of you. But we can branch out beyond web experimentation for your web applications, your single page applications that are accessed through a browser, whether that's on a desktop or mobile device, all the way into let's test and experiment and manage features everywhere that you have code. So all of your backend systems, all of your native applications, kiosks in stores, right? Everywhere that you have access to run code, we can actually help you with experimentation at those points as well. So think about, we wanted to change the search algorithm. We want to change recommendations. We want to change pricing or discounting in a way that's going to be safe and secure. Then we can get into feature experimentation to really help you to experiment across all of your ecosystem, as opposed to limiting to just the website itself. And those sit on top of a shared platform, so you get the same quality reporting, the same quality statistics, the same machine learning algorithms being applied to traffic distribution and so forth, layered on top of just world-class service and support, where we do treat every customer with a white glove level of service and make sure that every customer is as successful as we can make them on the platform.
And I think I would also call out, in our partnership with Google, we've made sure that we have full feature parity with what you're used to in Google Optimize as well. In our web product, what you see here is the JavaScript snippet, but you're also getting so much more. So all of that shared platform, the service and support, a lot of these are things that Google Optimize never was able to build out. We're really proud to be able to offer that. So again, things like Performance Edge, where you have that really fast delivery time, the easy to use stats, the program management, where you can really collaborate across the program, reporting and sharing, and much, much more. So wrapping up, there's a lot that Optimizely can do for your business. These are a few highlights we've had with some of our longtime customers. Really, regardless of your business model, let's see if we can kind of help you with that growth plan. Wall Street Journal did a lot with us over many years where they've helped improve their subscription acquisition, really moving from an ads-based business to subscription-based as their primary revenue source. HP actually delivered 21 million in incremental revenue in over a 9-month period using tests run by Optimizely, and they were so excited they wanted to share that with us. And really share that with the world. We work with Uber as well, focused on their driver acquisition, again, really optimizing that flow and that journey. And Atlassian and many other software providers looking at their cross-sell between products. There's many, many other brands, thousands of brands that we've worked with. So we're really excited to think about how we can partner with your teams as well.
Yeah, and I think that it's always good to talk about the increases, and sometimes we can also talk about decreases. How we saved. Some of our customers have decreased return rate by up to 80% of merchandise being shipped out. Just really significant impact to the bottom line of the business. Looking at it from every angle and saying, where can we create improvement? Where can we create opportunity? Whether that is in acquisition increases or whether that's in cost reductions, and using experimentation with statistical rigor to provide provable value over time.
This is just a highlight of some of our thousands of customers. Again, there's probably many industries that aren't even on this list, but I think our key focus is we really want to ensure there's a plan for growth for each of them. And then, as James says, it's aligned to the metrics that matter. It may be revenue, it may be subscriptions, but for a lot of companies, it is cost savings, especially right now. And we have a lot of experience in helping use experimentation to reduce those customer acquisition costs and reduce, various other cost burdens on the business, and helping you to really optimize processes beyond just a user journey flow on the website. So please do reach out to us. We're here to help.
Yeah, I think that to a point you made earlier, Liz, some of these are all, I guess, really well-known names at this point. They're well-known brands, but some of these we've been with these brands since they were still in their startup phases, right? So being able
Absolutely.
to help create that improvement, create that opportunity, optimize over time, and do incremental experimentation with some of these brands from when they were still in a heavy growth phase all the way through the maturity as an organization has been really gratifying from our side.
Cool. So wrapping up with that, please do reach out with questions and see more details on our website. But we'd love to get started with just really understanding the needs of your business and where we can possibly help. This is more of a high-level introduction. There's tons more that Optimizely Web can do for you. So please reach out, let us know what's really top of mind, what requirements are important to you, and how we can best partner together. Thank you so much for your time today.